Only 0.26% of people can own one Bitcoin on this planet. Do you want to be one of them? I'll show you how. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Da Vinci. I'm in the pipe 5x5 here in Dubai. Hope you're doing well. Man, I'm going to be showing you that Bitcoin is the asset to hold. As you can see, we're at 100K, fall back a little bit from, the highs of 108. And yeah, I'm going to be showing you how to do this on exchanges such as levex.davincij15.com. Right? Links in the description below. Join this and follow me here. And if you do, you'll get access to my videos live here because I'm doing this live. Also, you can head over to bybit.davincij15.com, a safe and secure exchange that's regulated. Of course, we won't be able to advertise my exchange on any of my other channels, which are regulated by the EU. The EU says no. You cannot. So, but in between now and then, at the end of the month, you better do something about it, right? And head over to rns.davincij15.com, get some ID, right? So that you are no longer subjected to your thumb of the EU saying, no crypto for you. Okay. All right. With that said, man, everything's taking a bath. Right, as I said, Orcas, they getting a beating. Same with Waffles, WowMow, and even PayPay. It is what it is. They will return once Bitcoin takes a rest. I think Bitcoin is going to take a rest in a little bit, and we're going to talk about that in the charts later on today. With that said, this is the news we're going to be going over. Starting off with only 0.26% of the world population can own one Bitcoin. And if you truly understand what Bitcoin is and you agree with the understanding, you know that you have to own at least one and hold it, right? Two would be better, but at least one. And here's the thing, right? It's both easy and hard. And at this point in time, if you only have, let's say you only have 10K, you're thinking, man, 10X, man, from here, how am I going to do that, right? I'm assuming 10K because this is possible to gain from there one Bitcoin. It's going to take a little bit of work, all right, to do so. And it requires that you have an account at bybit.davincij15.com, right? Or another cryptocurrency exchange that you trust. And then you're going to have to use a little bit of leverage. I would suggest that when Bitcoin dumps in this bull run, like it's doing right now, is that you take your 10K, you buy some Bitcoin, and you use the, the derivatives, where you actually earn more Bitcoin, where you actually inverse perpetual swaps. That's what it's called. And you do that, and you bet only 2-to-1. Only 2-to-1. The reason why, because Bitcoin has 40% retraces. That's the norm in this large. And so 50% retrace, which never has happened, is the safest way to ensure that you do not get liquidated, right? It's pretty much guaranteed because, there's never been. It could be, but this is, and then I get it. It's a risk still, right? But I think it's a good gamble, right? For the 2-to-1. And so you can increase your Bitcoin's holding. And I suggest you do that. And because that's the only way to get this going. And then, of course, whatever you save, of course, you should add to that along the way, your Bitcoins, and just do a 2-to-1 leverage here. And when we get to 150K, that's when you say, okay, that's enough. I'm going to take the chips off the table and move it to the side. And then you're going to do it again later on in 2027, right? At the end of 2026. Yeah, at the end of 26, beginning of 2027, and we'll talk about that another day because, hey, that's going to be the bottom of the market. Trump's inauguration may trigger a crypto sell-off, says Arthur Hayes. Okay, well, probably. The reason why is because I agree with him. Hayes cautioned against the high expectations of quick crypto policy changes promised by Trump, highlighting a gap between market anticipation and realities of policy implementation. It's really not that case, but it's more of whilst that's true, it's more of like, buy on the rumor, sell on the news, right? Kind of deal where, everybody's going to sell into the inauguration because, because of that buildup in expectations. And if prices run up into the inauguration, then you have to run. Actually, this is going to give you the sell signal of the century, unfortunately, with crypto. If prices run up into the inauguration, that's it. I'm not saying that it will happen. I'm just saying that if certain thing happens, such as prices rise to the inauguration. Now, interesting enough.
If I may, speaking of assets that have been buoyant, do you see any value or benefit in the U.S. government building a reserve of Bitcoin?
We're not allowed to own Bitcoin. The Federal Reserve Act says what we can own, and we're not looking for a law change. That's the kind of thing for Congress to consider, but we are not looking for a law change at the Fed.
Of course not. We print money. Why would we want to hold Bitcoin? And we print the world's reserve currency. If we started doing that, then everybody would drop the world reserve currency. That would be logical. So that's why they're not looking for it. Okay? Pretty straightforward, right? When it comes from the Fed. Bitcoin to hit 1 million by 2027 using new adoption price model. Okay, whatever this guy has to say, dream on, right? Bitcoin is still stuck in its cycle, and it will not change. Period. All right. MicroStrategy is a desperate Ponzi scheme. Okay, so this guy and many other people who look at how Michael Saylor is organizing this as a Ponzi scheme, and everybody uses the word Ponzi scheme incorrectly. Let me show you what the definition of Ponzi scheme. Dude, I'm going to invest your money. Give me $100 and I'm going to invest your money somewhere. Don't worry where. It's going to get invested and you'll get 13%, right? I just lied to you when I said that because I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is get other people to believe that I'm going to give them 13% and pay you out 13% every month, right? The $13 from that $100. And where I'm getting that $13 is from other investors. That is a Ponzi scheme. Now, I get it. You're thinking, nobody's going to buy a Bitcoin unless somebody else buys it. That's a Ponzi scheme. Oh my God. Whilst true, right? It's not a Ponzi scheme because you understand clearly, right? Just like the meme coins, that if nobody else buys it, it doesn't increase in value, right? You understand that. It's clear, right? And what he's doing, right, is not a Ponzi scheme because, one, he's asking you to loan him money. Now, if I ask you to loan me money, right, and I say it's non-recourse, meaning that if I don't pay, the only thing you do is sue me for the money, and if I don't have the money, that's it. You get nothing. You understand those rules. And then on top of that, I add additional rule that, hey, if you want, you can convert it to my stock, right? And I just create more stock. Everything's clear. Everything's written down, and it's accepted by both parties. Now, you could say, well, that's a scam because all parties agree. You could, right? Just like if I said, hey, I'm going to actually run a real Ponzi scam, right? And I'm going to take your money and actually take it from somebody else. Do you want to invest? And you could technically say, okay, well, yeah, I know what's going on, and I agree to put my money there, and I understand that I could be the last person there. And does that mean it's a scam? No, actually, technically, it's not a scam. Why? Because a scam is something where I tell you something that I'm going to do something and it's not true, right? that I'm going to actually accomplish something else, or accomplish something, and I'm going to do something, but really I'm going to lie to you and tell you something totally different. That is a scam. That is a scam, right? That's the difference. Now, if I were to tell you that it is a Ponzi scam and you were to invest in it anyways because you hope that, you could be the last one out, you are just acting unethically. That's all. So that is my take on Ponzi scams. People call everybody calls everything a Ponzi scam, and I'm tired of it. It is a nonsense statement, because then if you call his thing as Ponzi scam, the same as a stock on a company, it doesn't matter that they produce something. Eventually they're going to collapse. Eventually, right? All companies do, right? So that means it's a scam, right? Because you understand that the company's going to go out of business one day because of innovation. Man, I swear to God, I hate people who used to call everything a Ponzi scam. Ponzi scam is when somebody lies to you. I'm going to show you that, it was exactly like predicted in today's episode, because, hey, you know what? I showed you some trades yesterday to make, and I was right. I said it was a little bit risky to do a short trade, but you could have made some trades. Bybit.davitaj15.com. Okay, like I said, this was a little bit late to jump into the trade here. Remember, we were right here yesterday, and I was thinking, yeah, you could, right? It looks like we're coming down here, but we missed it because this is the entry points up here, right? It was really difficult to do that, but that was the entry points, and then boom. You could have jumped in anyways and made some trades. Looking at Ethereum, I was saying the same thing. Looks like we're breaking down. We're going to come back down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. And we did, in order to tighten up the band a little bit. Same here. Solana looked very low. It looked like it was going to break down all the way down to the levels that I told you, and which was $203. And yes, there we are. We have touched it and reversed back. So unfortunately, this chart on Solana does not look good. Let's break this because this is useless now. That is no longer valid. This is that's the resistance line, actually. This red one here at 240. And let's see here. Is there any other support that we can draw here? Yes, there is. Can Solana hold the line here? Is there enough support? Oof, yeah, there is enough support here. The next support is not that strong of support. Basically, 190, and then all the way down to 160. Jesus, that's pretty rough for Solana. But anyways, let's hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, well, I'm gonna, at the end of the show, for the guys who are watching this live, we're gonna take a look at Solana versus Ethereum and see if there's any kind of reversal pattern showing up, because I want to trade between the two, because I think Solana will outperform Ethereum in this race, and I want to benefit from that. All right, well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.